After Tai Xiong heard what Xianxia said, he could not help but be shocked. I never thought that not only do you know how to refine pills, you're also so proficient in formations. Xianxia shook his head and laughed. We'll talk when we get back. Returning to Tai Xiong's small villa, Tai Xiong was already impatient to know what method Xianxia had. If it could make the Tao aura in this city denser, then it would be a very good thing for this city. If Xianxia could really do it, then he would definitely receive very good treatment. We used to do it from the center of the earth. Xianxia said, as long as we succeed in bringing the energy up from the core of the earth, then we will have endless energy. This was how Long Juxiao did things. Originally, the location where the heavenly dragon cities were located was a region with a very thin Tao aura. Because of the sparse Tao aura, there weren't even any savage beasts there. However, Long Juxiao had used his own method to attract a lot of energy from the earth core, and then used the array to convert the earth core into Tao Qi. After a long time, the Tao Qi in that area started to become denser and denser, and the heavenly dragon city was a lot bigger than this place. Will that work? What do I do? Tai Xiong frowned. Definitely. You have 3 Tao sovereigns here. As far as I know, a Tao sect can complete it. Xianxia said. Let's go. I'll bring you to see my father. He is the city lord. He is most concerned about this kind of thing. If your method succeeds, he will definitely not treat you unfairly. Tai Xiong said, then pulled Xianxia along as he walked toward the city lord's mansion. Xianxia's identity jade tablet was given to him by Tai Yuntian. Although he had not interacted with Tai Yuntian much, his impression of him was not bad. After arriving at the city lord's mansion, Xianxia and Tai Xiong sat in a hall, waiting for Tai Yuntian. Tai Yuntian also had something he needed to busy himself with, but when he heard that Tai Xiong had something important to talk to him about, he immediately went out to take a look. Ah Xiong, what is it? When Tai Yuntian saw Xianxia, he politely smiled at him. This was also for Xianxia to not be so formal. After all, he was a city lord and a Tao sovereign. Dad, Brother Xin said he has a way to make the Tao aura in this city thicker. Tai Xiong said, if he can do it, what kind of treatment will you give him? Tai Yuntian was surprised and asked anxiously, is this true? How much certainty do you have? 50%. Xianxia said. A 50% chance was quite great. It was worth a try. If you can do it, I will naturally not treat you unfairly. I can even give you the position of city lord. Tai Yuntian said. Xianxia did not need the position of city lord. He wanted this city to become stronger, and it was also to let this city block the black hairs human. If not, the black hairs human would think of ways to expand after this city was flattened. We'll talk about this later. I'm not completely sure right now. Xianxia laughed and said, moreover, I will need the help of your array masters. I am a formation master. I am the one who completed all the formation here. Tai Yuntian said, tell me your method. It's very simple. It is to draw power from the Earth's core. There is an extremely strong flame energy in the Earth's core. If you can draw fire energy from the Earth's core and then use the formation to turn that flame energy into Tao Qi, that would be enough. Xianxia said, the Tao energy in the Earth is created from the constant burning of the Earth's core, combined with the fusion of the Sun and Earth. I have thought about it before, but the process is very complicated. Furthermore, profound wasteland is currently floating, and there is no heart left. Tai Yuntian shook his head. Profound wasteland has already merged into the new 8 desolate. Xianxia said, City Lord, you don't know about this? What's going on? Tai Yuntian did not know about this, or perhaps the people inside did not. The profound wasteland had yet to appear before the new 8 wastelands, and had instead encountered the black hairs human. None of the people here had ever gone to the outskirts of the new 8 wastelands, because that place was still rather far away. Then, Xianxia told Tai Yuntian about this matter in a simple manner. So that's how it is. If the barrier is broken, we can also leave. Of course, the new 8 wastelands outside would also be affected by this destructive force. Tai Yuntian sighed. As long as black hairs human is here, we have nowhere to hide. Xianxia did not say that he came from outside. He only said that this was something that a mysterious senior had told him. All right, let's go to the core to take a look. I have a way. Tai Yuntian said. Ah Xiong, this little brother and I will go. You stay here. Tai Xiong brought Xianxia into the city lord's mansion, and surprisingly came from here. Tai Xiong was also very surprised, but he was a little unhappy right now, because he really wanted to follow along and take a look. There are dangers in the Earth's core, especially for earthly beast, Tai Yuntian said as he brought Xianxia to a very deep underground room. New 8 Wastelands is so big. There must be a lot of earthly beast. When the time comes, we just need to pay attention to a little. Xianxia said, Senior, do you have a spatial transmission array plate? Of course. You mean to say that you want to place the spatial transmission array disk below the Earth's core and then transfer the energy below it up, right? Tai Yuntian said. Yes. The array disk placed below must be able to resist the heat. Moreover, it must also have the ability to absorb energy to maintain its circulation, and the amount of energy to transfer must be great as well. Xianxia said, I am only providing you with a way of thinking. I am not able to help you with anything else. Tai Yuntian nodded his head. Xianxia was just a Dao per realm. Looks like I have to send people to dig many underground palaces under the city. Tai Yuntian said, Let's try entering the Earth's core now. Tai Yuntian was a formation master, so he had to be proficient in array disks. He took out an array disk and said, This can be transmitted downwards. How about this? I'll go down by myself. If I encounter any danger, I'll deal with it myself. You just wait here for me. I'll go down with you, Xianxia said. He was also curious about the desolate Earth's core. He wanted to take a look too. Tai Yuntian pondered for a while, but in the end, still decided to bring Xianxia to the center of the Earth. After activating the formation disk for a few seconds, Xianxia felt a wave of heat. Then, he hurriedly used his spatial energy to wrap himself up, isolating himself from the extremely hot energy. Spatial energy? No wonder you were able to sneak in, and you seem to have very high spatial strength. Tai Yuntian could not help but be shocked, and then laughed. At this time, Xianxia and Tai Yuntian had already reached the core of the Earth. They were floating above the continuously boiling flame essence, and there wasn't much space above them. Looking at the boundless sea of fire essence below him, Tai Yuntian frowned, because he didn't know where he should put the array disk to be safe. This method is a bit difficult. Of course, for a city to have such a rich Dao Qi, it is not a simple matter. At the very least, it is a method that is possible. Tai Yuntian was still relatively optimistic. He brought Xianxia to walk all around, wanting to see how they would arrange the array disks. Can you embed it on top? Xianxia looked at the fiery red rocks above. Not good. Those stones are unstable. They might fall down at any moment. Tai Yuntian shook his head. Xianxia used the Dao Heart Eye to observe. He wanted to see if there were any small mountains underneath the flame essence. As long as he pierced a hole inside it and placed the array disk inside, it would be enough. More than 2 hours later, neither Xianxia nor Tai Yunshan could come up with a good idea. Just as they were about to go back, the fire liquid suddenly became extremely violent, undulating up and down. There's something down there, Xianxia shouted in shock. It's a earthly beast. Hearing Xianxia's shout, Tai Yunshan immediately pulled Xianxia and prepared to teleport away. Be careful. Tai Yunshan struck his palm towards the flame liquid that was spewing out from the ground, stopping it from sputtering onto Xianxia's body. Big brother, it's me. Xianxia suddenly heard a familiar voice. Huolin. Xianxia was shocked and shouted. Huolin was the 9 heaven worlds' earthly beast, a fire unicorn. Big brother, long time no see. A beam of fire shot up from below, and all they saw was a smiling young man standing there, wearing a fiery red armor. Good boy. You scared me to death. Xianxia was very happy. He never thought that he would meet Huolin in this kind of place. Furthermore, it had been a long time since he had last seen Huolin. Tai Yunshan was also surprised. Xianxia actually knew a earthly beast. He suddenly felt that Xianxia was very mysterious. A earthly beast was not someone that anyone could easily recognize, and even if it was him, it was his first time seeing a earthly beast. But Xianxia could call this earthly beast a brother. I didn't expect to see you here. Huolin laughed. Big brother, you are still the same. Your strength is not that great, but you always go to those dangerous places. Brat, you're looking down on people. Xianxia laughed and scolded. How have you been recently? Are you used to being here? It's not bad. Huolin nodded his head. Big brother, what are you doing here? Is there something wrong? Of course. Is this your territory? Help me place something. Xianxia said. I have a palace down here, which is the one I used to have. Let me show you around. Huolin took out a large transparent pearl and allowed Xianxia and Tai Yuntian to enter. After that, he turned into a huge fire unicorn and dived into the depths of the Earth's core while biting the pearl. Huolin had constructed an Earth core realm and a Qilin hall here. Just like last time in the Nine-Heaven world, when Xianxia came here, he suddenly felt a very familiar feeling. What do you want to put on it? Huolin asked. I'm very safe, although there are a lot of earthly beasts here. But those guys are not my match. I myself belong to the heavenly beast, and those modeled beasts are way too inferior to me. Tai Yunshan took out an array disk and said, I want to place an array disk here to absorb energy from the Earth's core to supply energy to our city. No problem, leave it to me. I choose the best place here. It can quickly absorb the purest energy in the Earth's core. Huolin smiled and then he accepted the formation plate. Tai Yunshan also taught him how to activate the formation plate. Where's your wife? Xianxia asked. She's sleeping. There's no helping it. When our earthly beast gets stronger, we all need to sleep for a long time. Huolin said he had already remembered how to activate the array disk. Thanks a lot. I'll go up now and see if I can absorb the energy from here. It might take some time. Tai Yunshan had yet to create an array disk that could convert Earth's core energy. However, this was not a problem and he could do it very soon. City Lord, you go up. I want to meet with my brother. Xianxia said. All right. Tai Yunshan left by himself. Along the way, he kept thinking about Xianxia, because no matter how he looked at it, he was not an ordinary person. After Tai Yunshan left, Huolin asked, Elder Brother Xin, who is that old man? It seems like he is a little unfamiliar with you. It's a long story. Xianxia told Huolin about Profound Wasteland's situation, letting him know the situation of that city. Quite a few things have happened on the surface as well. Huolin said, Earth's core divine spirit came to find me before. He said it was all thanks to you that they were unable to complete the task. He told me a lot, what two eras merging, what balance and so on. That's why he gave me a place like this, where I could sleep peacefully. Did the Earth's core divine spirit say anything else? Do you have any way of finding him? Xianxia asked anxiously. He just wanted to find Natural Law Divine Spirit's group of Divine Spirit. He didn't say anything, but he has a way to get in touch with him, and I'll get you in touch with him right now. Huolin said, Big brother, what do you want to say to him? Just say that I, Xianxia, have something to discuss with him and Natural Law Divine Spirit. Xianxia said. Huolin took out a small disc and then he talked to the inside of it. All right, I just don't know when they'll have the time to come. Although they might be gods, I don't think they're as powerful as you, big bro. Huolin chuckled. If Big Brother's cultivation reaches their level in the future, I can exterminate them at any time. I thought they would come immediately. Xianxia curled his lips. Big brother, the ground won't collapse any further. Come to me. If the two of us work together, the Earth Spirit realm will definitely be beautiful. Huolin said. It seems like this is my best safe haven. Xianxia laughed. After a short while, Huolin shouted, Big brother, Earth's core divine spirit said that they will be here very soon. I told you to be patient. Xianxia said. Seems like they value me quite a lot. Huolin laughed. Of course, big brother, you have helped them before. Although this group of bird gods are not that powerful, they are still quite considerate. The Earth's core divine spirit arrived very quickly. It was the first time Xianxia had seen the Earth's core divine spirit with his own eyes. The natural law divine spirit also came, but he was currently chuckling, causing Xianxia to feel a little unhappy in his heart. Xianxia, you are truly omnipresent, even more powerful than us gods. It hasn't been long since you ran all the way to the heart of the wastelands. The natural law divine spirit laughed. Of course, my big brother's strength doesn't need to be questioned. Hualin said. Xianxia had too many things to ask of this natural law divine spirit, such as the island his father was on, and then the black hair's human, the connection between the new 8 wastelands and the ancient 8 desolations. He was smiling as he sat on the ground. Currently, he was not the least bit nervous, as Xianxia suspected that he still did not know about the matters regarding black hair's human, but it did not seem to be possible. As the natural law divine spirit was, he was definitely aware of the matters regarding black hair's human. Ibdu. Furthermore, that group of black hair's human S were originally requested by the group of natural law divine spirit S who were lazy. What happened to the island my father was on? Xianxia was most curious about that island. For example, the island had suffered a punishment, and he also wanted to make that island more stable. That island? You should have already been there. Furthermore, I know that the poison on it has not been expelled, so it should be you who did it. Natural law divine spirit laughed. You can always do things that even we can't do. Hey, answer my question. Xianxia scoffed. Is it all your fault? Of course not. If I did not inform that island spirit in time, the creatures on that island would have died a long time ago. Natural law divine spirit quickly waved his hand and said, there are many things that the heavenly Tao cannot control now. Natural law divine spirit sighed. If it was in the past, as long as we had something to do, we could just make an altar or something, and we could have the heavenly Tao come down to help us. But now it's not going to work. In other words, the movement of the heavenly Tao is in a state of automatic adjustment. I don't know the specifics either. In short, what is happening now isn't something that anyone can control. Natural law divine spirit sighed. For example, which island should we punish? It is because that island has evolved to a certain degree by itself. The heavenly energy sensed that that island could possibly severely damage the balance of heavenly energy. That is why it is being punished. The city where Xia Bailing was originally at was the same, and the reason for his punishment should be for the same reason as that island. Is there such a thing happening in the future? Xianxia asked. My father is still up there, and the punishment for that island is still there. This will definitely not happen again. After all, the heavenly Tao is not in a good situation right now. Natural law divine spirit replied. You can be at ease with that. You promise. Xianxia said. I promise. He is the natural law divine spirit, so it is normal for Xianxia to make him promise something. All right, I believe you. Xianxia nodded his head. I came down from above profound wasteland. What happened to those black hairs humaness up there? I heard that those things were actually called natural law guardians S or something like that. Speaking of this matter, natural law divine spirit and Earth's core divine spirit looked at each other, a little embarrassed. Seeing their reaction, Xianxia immediately confirmed that those natural law guardians S back then were indeed related to them. Don't misunderstand. We know about this, but it definitely has nothing to do with us. Natural law divine spirit saw Xianxia's look of contempt and immediately said, Is that so? But you guys seem to be very guilty. Xianxia said, We were supposed to be responsible for this matter. This is our responsibility, but our power is limited. Natural law divine spirit's face was filled with helplessness. This matter was caused by the previous natural law divine spirit and the others in order to be lazy. At that time, I was still just a little brat in natural law divine realm. Then what do we do now? These guys seem to be a threat to both the new and the old. Xianxia curled his lips. I really didn't think that you natural law divine spirit are so weak. You can't even solve this little problem. Earth's core divine spirit finally spoke. He used a rough voice to say, We have no other choice. The majority of our divine powers come from the heavenly Tao. However, we do not know what kind of situation the heavenly Tao is in right now, leading to chaos in the world that is born with the power of natural law principles. as well as greatly reducing our strength. Natural law divine spirit nodded his head. It really is like that. Otherwise we wouldn't have to be afraid of those evil spirit races. Xianxia looked at him with contempt. Could it be that you are looking for an excuse? Is the positive recession that bad? This is real. I am a natural law divine spirit, so I definitely need sufficient strength to control the entire heavenly Tao, and the other gods are the same as well. If not for something unexpected happening, we would not be in this state, and the entire heavenly Tao is not something we can control right now. Natural law divine spirit shook his head. Of course, the heavenly Tao also left a trump card, which was the three great native bank S. Xianxia's eyes lit up. The three great native bank S are indeed powerful. Can they deal with those natural law guardians S? Right, how many were there in the natural law guardians? I saw a lot of them in a lake. Profound wasteland is still considered good. There are only a few of them. Now that both evil wasteland and devil wasteland have fallen, it is fortunate that we had all set up strong barriers in these three ancient wastelands, which should be enough to sustain us for a very long time. The natural law divine spirit's words made Xianxia worry deeply. The situation between the evil wasteland S were actually so terrible. The three great native bank S have also only just found out, and this is what I have just told them. Can they really deal with those natural law guardians S? Xianxia was very suspicious of this matter. Out of the three native bank S that had sent out, 6 had died. If it's only the normal ancient desolation and 8 desolations, the combined strength of the three native bank S would obviously not be enough to contend against those natural law guardians S. However, there shouldn't be a problem for those above sacred wasteland S. Natural law divine spirit said, I will head to sacred wasteland in a while to discuss this matter with them. The Earth's core divine spirit said, every native bank has 3 villa masters. The weakest is the one in charge of managing the new 8 wastelands, and the second strongest is the one in charge of managing the ancient desolate, profound wasteland, spirit wasteland, devil wasteland, and evil wasteland. And the strongest are the ones in charge of the beast wasteland S and the sacred wasteland S. If the Earth's core divine spirit didn't say it, Xianxia would have forgotten about the other ancient wastelands. What's going on with the human wasteland? Is he also in the new 8 wastelands? Xianxia asked. Human wasteland isn't very strong. She is currently in the same condition as spirit wasteland. It's just that the place she is at is a little hidden, so you all have not found her yet. The natural law divine spirit said. Where's the sacred wasteland? Are all the guys inside very strong? Xianxia was very curious about this. The great landlord S of the 3 great native bank S are all in the sacred wasteland. What do you think? And among the sacred wasteland, not only are the 3 great native bank S the strongest, there are also a few other heaven wasteland aristocratic family S. Natural law divine spirit said. That group of fellows from heaven wasteland aristocratic family, their attitude towards us is way worse than you. They don't even put us in their eyes. Who asked you to be so incompetent? It's normal for you to not be worthy of respect. Xianxia laughed. Sigh, we can't help it. Of course, we wish to become stronger. Natural law divine spirit sighed again. How many black hairs human S are there in the profound wasteland? Xianxia said. Can they escape? Back then, there were over 1 billion such black hairs human sealed inside the profound wasteland, but there were over 4 billion in the devil wasteland and the devil wasteland. Of course, these fellows are better than humans in that they will never kill each other. Furthermore, as long as one of them evolved into an emperor, they would vow to follow that emperor to the death. The natural law divine spirit said. Xianxia secretly cursed in his heart. What natural law divine spirit said just now was enough to prove the strength of those black hairs human S. There shouldn't be any emperor-like black hairs human in the profound wasteland right now. Otherwise, it would be troublesome. Xianxia said. It's hard to say. Even if he did, you don't know. To be able to evolve to that degree, he must have very high intelligence, so his actions will still be very cautious. The natural law divine spirit said. Humph, it's all because of you lousy creatures. For the sake of laziness, you made such a terrifying thing. Xianxia snorted. I told you already, this is the previous natural law divine spirit's fault. It has nothing to do with us. Natural law, divine spirit's face was filled with grievance. Right. Isn't there another divine wasteland? What kind of place is that? Xianxia asked. That place is very mysterious, we don't know either. I only know that many generations of natural law divine spirit have gone to that place, and it is said that the place is where the heavenly Tao transcends. As long as we go there, we will see the creator of the heavenly Tao. Natural law divine spirit's face was full of yearning when he said this. So mysterious. Xianxia was also very curious and wanted to take a look. Of course, he couldn't do it now. His cultivation base was very low. If he had a Tao Lord cultivation base, he wouldn't be too far off. Inside the sacred wasteland, those heaven wasteland aristocratic family are very interested in the black hairs human. I remember that not long ago, I met a person from the heaven wasteland aristocratic family who came, and he even asked me where I was from. He said that he wanted to capture some of them and see if he could tame them into his slaves. The natural law divine spirit said, I think they want to train their own troops and then kill and plunder everywhere. Earth's core divine spirit snorted. I still understand the style of those bastards from heaven wasteland aristocratic family. Speaking of the heaven wasteland aristocratic family, both natural law divine spirit and Earth's core divine spirit actually had the same grudge. One look was enough to tell that they had been bullied by the heaven wasteland aristocratic family. Xianxia secretly thought it was funny. These gods were down and out, being humiliated to such a degree by others, but they could not say anything, they were truly aggrieved. I think those guys will know where the natural law guardians is soon. When the time comes, they might send people over to capture them. If you meet them, you must be careful of them and not have any conflicts with them. Otherwise, none of us will be able to save you. Natural law divine spirit warned. Are they really scary? Xianxia didn't understand sacred wasteland at all. Could it be that the strongest is not a Tao sovereign? Among the 10th stage of the heavenly Tao, the Tao sovereign stage is only at the 9th stage. There's even a Tao God stage behind it. Natural law divine spirit curled his lips. We were originally in the Tao God stage. Because something happened to the heavenly Tao, we fell back to the Tao sovereign realm. So it's like that. Xianxia recalled that the realm Xia Bailing had told him about was indeed only 9 realms. In the sacred wasteland, there are a lot of Tao sovereigns and Tao gods. That place is where these kind of people gather to begin with. There are even demon and demon beasts there. The Earth's core divine spirit replied, Right now. All of us gods are inside there. Then can I go now? Xianxia really wanted to go there and take a look. He felt that there would definitely be some good pills inside. It's best if you don't go first. You have too many good things on you, but there are many wolves in there. You need to be clear, even though the 3 native banks have strength, it is not their decision to make. There are many terrifying fellows within the sacred wasteland, and there are some that even the 3 native banks do not dare to offend. If they want to take your thing away, you can't do anything about it. The natural law divine spirit hastily said. He knew Xianxia's ability. If Xianxia really wanted to go, he could definitely go. All right. Wait for me to become stronger, Xianxia said. Xianxia now knew what he wanted to know, and the natural law divine spirit and the Earth's core divine spirit had left as well. Even though my core is a bit clear, it's still safe. The upper echelons are really too frightening. What black hairs human is this? And what heaven wasteland aristocratic family is this? Huolin said. Only by going out and messing around would I be able to live a fulfilling life. Xianxia patted his head. Go activate the array. See if we can successfully transfer the energy to the ground. Huolin went to open the formation plate, and then exclaimed in joy. It's a success, and the speed at which it was delivered was even quicker. Not long after, Tai Yuntian used the transmission array plate to come here and discussed about setting up the array disk with Huolin. From the looks of it, he planned to place a few more here. In order to be able to come here at any time, Tai Yuntian had set up a transmission array plate here. As a formation master, he had this plate with him. Xianxia had already left the core of the earth and returned to the surface. He still had to refine pills, and the more he understood of black hairs human, the more he felt threatened. Now, not only did Xianxia have to cultivate the profound Tao power, he also had to raise his cultivation level. He had just stepped into the Tao per realm, he was simply too weak. Not only would the advancement of his base level allow him to have greater strength, it would also allow him to relax while he was refining pills. After entering the Tao per realm, eating Xingdao Dens was useless, and there were not many pills that he could eat now. Although it was useful, the effects were not very obvious, especially when he was in a rush to raise his cultivation. This Tao per realm is a very high cultivation. You can't rush it, Xia Bailing said. With me protecting you now, you don't have to worry about anything. Xianxia recalled that the moment he stepped into the heavenly Tao realm, he had also improved by leaps and bounds. In the past, if he wanted to reach Zhongshe realm, it would take a lot of time. Furthermore, the amount of medicinal pills he had to consume was difficult to count. And now that he had broken through to the heavenly Tao realm along the way, he didn't consume many pills, and he only consumed a little bit of time. The pills I consume are mostly the recipes of this desolate land. It should be from the new 8 wastelands. Could it be that the older the pill formula, the more powerful it is? Xianxia thought for a while, then asked Xia Bailing, Sister Bai Ling, do you have any ancient pill formulas? Our spirit wasteland is also an ancient 8 desolations, alright? Of course I have an ancient pill formula, but the prerequisite is that you have to have the medicinal ingredients. Xia Bailing said, I have a pill formula, and the pills are specially made for the Tao per realm. It's just that the ingredients have been gone for a long time. What is that pill? As long as those medicinal herbs have been here before, I can find them, Xianxia said. Xianxia was not just bragging. He also did a lot of things to find medicinal ingredients, and most of them were successful. Xia Bailing said, the main point of Tao per realm is to transform bones into a Tao soul, and the stronger the Tao soul is, the stronger the Tao spirit becomes, and the difference between the first and the second stage of Tao per realm is huge. I know about this. What sort of pills would be needed to increase my Tao soul quickly? Xianxia asked. That kind of pill is called Shipodan. It can help people to cultivate all the way to the 10th level of Tao per realm, and there is only one type of herb that is needed. Xia Bailing said, that thing is called the tianpa fruit. It's a kind of fruit that looks like fire. I have never seen it before, so I have never refined this kind of pill before. I don't know if it really exists. Is this a very ancient pill formula? Xianxia asked. Of course. Otherwise, how could I not find the medicinal herbs? The ancient pill formulas are usually very strong, so the herbs that are required are also very good ones. However, because the herbs were extinct later on, other herbs will be replaced. As the generations go by, the recipes get worse and worse. Many of the apothecaries had no idea what to do in this situation. I must find that tianpa fruit. That way, I can instantly reach the 10th level of Tao per realm. Xianxia said. The same thing happened to him when he rose up from the Tao Dan realm. If possible, that would be for the best. Although Xia Bailing was now a Tao sovereign, she still hoped to see that pill, which would make her white spirit city stronger. I wonder if this profound wasteland has it. Xianxia was just about to go find Tai Xiong. She didn't think that Tai Xiong would come. Brother Shin, what happened to the matter at the core of the earth? Tai Xiong was very curious about this. He had asked Tai Yuntian, but Tai Yuntian hadn't told him anything. The progress is not too bad. If it's open, your father will tell you. Xianxia laughed. Tai Xiong, I'm currently in urgent need of a type of medicinal ingredient. Can you help me find one? If it was before, this would definitely be an easy task. But now, you know, Tai Xiong knew that Xianxia was an extremely powerful pill refiner. But there were limited amounts of ingredients available, so he couldn't even concoct a little pellet right now. Xianxia took out a pen and paper and drew the pattern of a tianpa fruit on the paper according to the image that Xia Bailing had told him. All right, I'll keep an eye out for you. Tai Xiong nodded. Right now, Xianxia was in a hurry to find the tianpa fruit, so after greeting Tai Xiong, he left the city and returned to Divine City with 3 coins. It's impossible for there to be people in the profound wasteland. There are way more humans in the profound wasteland than spirit desolate. Furthermore, with this kind of situation, we might as well find a way to rely on the new 8 wastelands. You have so much jade money right now, and those kinds of medicinal herbs are only of the king stage high rank. Xianxia came to the Three-Qian Divine City and went straight to the Immortal Bank to find Fan Shixin. Manor Lord Fan, your complexion isn't too good. What happened? Xianxia asked. Two things happened, but it was not a good thing. Seated on the chair, Fan Shixin let out a long sigh. All of this is related to those black hairs humaness. The first thing is that the people we sent out earlier have all detected the last thing we want to happen. Hearing Fan Shixin's words, Xianxia also thought of something. They found a total of 20 lakes on top of the profound wasteland. 12 of them have already awakened, and each lake has tens of millions of black hairs human. Xianxia nodded. He had previously heard from the god of heaven's path that there were more than 1 billion black hairs humaness here. The reason why these fellows woke up is because one of them evolved and produced a leader. It was this leader who woke them up. The 6 warriors we sent out were all killed by that leader. When Fan Shixin mentioned this matter, his face was filled with pain. I never thought that they would be so powerful. It looks like we have to prepare for the worst. Xianxia's expression became serious. The second thing, although it looks like a good thing, I feel like it's a bad thing. Fan Shixin said, Xianxia, how much do you know about Sacred Wasteland? I know a little, but I heard that the big villa masters and second villa masters of the 3 big banks are all in the Sacred Wasteland, and there are even some Heaven Wasteland aristocratic families up there. Xianxia said, It seems like you know quite a lot. Fan Shixin was a little surprised, then said, The second thing is that those Heaven Wasteland aristocratic families are preparing to send people here to go into the evil wasteland, Demon Emperor and Profound Wasteland to capture them. They want these black hairs humaness to become their slaves. The heavenly god and geocentric divine spirit had already mentioned this to Xianxia before. He did not expect those Heaven Wasteland aristocratic families to act so quickly. Although the Heaven Wasteland aristocratic family is powerful, but we cannot underestimate them even with so many black hairs human. Right now, the black hairs human was still trapped inside the 3 ancient barriers. Although those barriers would be destroyed by the black hairs human sooner or later, at the very least it could delay a lot of things. Especially the Profound Wasteland. The current situation in the Profound Wasteland is the best, so the black hairs human inside are all very quiet. If Heaven Wasteland aristocratic family were to enter the Profound Wasteland, he would definitely enrage those black hairs human. Evil Wasteland and the other black hairs humaness are even more so. This will only increase the speed of black hairs human breaking through the barrier. Fan Shixin said, But the 3 great banks cannot stop those fellows. Xianxia scolded in a low voice. This bunch of bastards. If the enchantment is broken, the one who will be in trouble will be us. Fan Shixin nodded his head. Right now, the 3 big banks above Sacred Wasteland have already made preparations. They will help us refine some array discs to protect the cities inside the new 8 wastelands. I just do not know how much they can refine, so time is very important to us right now. Manor Lord Fan, can you help me find this medicinal plant? I need it urgently. If you can find it, I'm willing to pay 10 billion for it. Xianxia took out the image of the tianpa fruit and gave it to Fan Shixin. This seems to be called a tianpa fruit. Fan Shixin frowned. This kind of fruit is rare even in the Sacred Wasteland. If you bid 10 billion, you should be able to buy it. That's great. Xianxia was pleasantly surprised. Villa Master Fan, I'll leave it to you. It's nothing. If it wasn't for you, we probably wouldn't even know about the matters of the black hairs human. Although some guys know about it, they plan to hide it. Fan Shixin snorted. I don't even know what those fellows are thinking. The matter is already so serious. They should be telling us to be prepared. Xianxia felt that those big guys that Fan Shixin was talking about should be the bunch of useless trash, like the god of heaven. At this time, a young man walked in with a grave expression on his face. Fan Shixin nodded at him, indicating that he could speak. 3rd Villa Master, Undead Divine Race and the Evil Spirit Race are right beside the Evil Wasteland. They are preparing to open an opening for the black hairs humaness inside to come out. The man's words shook both Xianxia and Fan Shixin. They had previously forgotten about the Undead Divine Race and the Evil Spirit Clan. They did not expect that they were actually causing trouble now. Then, without permission, the group of Heaven Wasteland aristocratic families group directly entered the Three Money Divine City, clearly showing that they were intentionally provoking the three big banks. This will only make things more complicated. Fan Shishin stood up and let out a long sigh. Let's go see what those bunch of fellows from Heaven Wasteland aristocratic family are up to first. Xianxia also wanted to see exactly how strong the people of the Heaven Wasteland aristocratic family were to actually be so overbearing. Although the three great native banks were easy to bully, they would not be looked down by so many people. Amongst the new 8 wastelands, these three great native banks were the strongest, but they were still treated like this by the Heaven Wasteland aristocratic family S from the Sacred Wasteland S. It was obvious with a glance that these Heaven Wasteland aristocratic families people were extremely arrogant. Xianxia followed behind Fan Shishin and headed towards the plaza. Because that group of people were currently in the plaza, he did not know what they were planning to do. Aren't there any defensive arrays here? Xianxia asked, standing beside Fan Shishin. Of course we have them. However, these defensive arrays are useless against those fellows. Even if they do not have enough strength to break through our defenses, they do have some powerful divine weapons. When they came, the powerful families definitely gave them many defenses. Fan Shishin said. Xianxia and the rest had already reached the plaza, and in the middle of the plaza he saw 10 people standing there, and many of the transmission arrays had already been destroyed. Xianxia felt that these people were all very young, so their mental states were not mature enough. Normally, they were raised in a large family and thought that they were superior to others, so they would definitely not think much of New 8 Wastelands. Did you destroy this? After Fan Shishin arrived, he asked indifferently. Even so, Xianxia, who was beside him, could feel his anger. After Fan Shishin arrived, Xianxia saw 2 other groups of people rushing over. They should be the villa masters of the other 2 native banks. So what? One of the purple-robed men laughed coldly. I came to this broken place, and I actually still need to collect our jade money. I deserve it. This place was built by us. You can leave it to the jade money, but no one is forcing you to come. But now, not only did you use this method to force your way in, you even destroyed the transmission array in here. Considering that you all don't understand the rules, you all only need to compensate the transmission array and leave this place immediately. Fan Shishin said in an amiable tone. His self-restraint was extremely good, so he did not reveal the anger in his heart. This kind of person was always very scary, especially when they didn't want to put up with it. The purple-robed man sneered and said, I won't compensate you. What can you do to us? Don't tell me you dare to attack us? As soon as the word succeed came out of his mouth, there was a crisp pa sound. The purple-clothed man that had just spoken had already been sent flying. He was actually sent flying by someone's heavy slap. Xianxia was startled, because he did not see who it was. Fan Shishin was always there, his expression was extremely natural, and it did not seem like he was going to attack. It was from the goatee on Fan Shishin's right. Xia Bailing said, That guy is very strong, he should be a Dao Lord. Xianxia looked at the goatee elder, who had a smile on his face, and stroked his beard. You all? Which one of you hit him? The dozen or so people from the Heaven Wasteland aristocratic family panicked. They really did not think that there would actually be someone who dared to attack them. So what if I hit you? Fan Shishin said, Although I did not do it, but I want to say, well done. Only now did the 10-odd youngsters realize that the 3 manor lords standing in front of them were not easy to deal with. Just you wait. The man in purple had already gotten up. His face was now completely black. He didn't know why, but he looked like he had been poisoned. Let's go. A man in black knew they were no match for him and decided to go back and find help. Want to leave? You all destroyed the transmission array here, and you want to leave just like that? Fan Shishin said. While talking, no one knew what he had done, but the surrounding space had suddenly become extremely sturdy. 1 transmission array's 1 billion jade money, in total 17 of them were destroyed by you, so you have to pay 1,700,000,000. Otherwise, you're not allowed to scram. Fan Shishin said coldly. You guys have already made your move. Don't expect us to compensate you. He wanted to charge over, but they were not his opponent. Previously, they thought that Fan Shirshin and the rest would be afraid of them because they were from the Heaven Wasteland aristocratic family. But now, before they could even say anything, they were beaten up. Did the Heaven Wasteland aristocratic family send you guys to deal with the natural law guardians? Fan Shirshin suddenly laughed. With your current abilities, you will definitely die without a single hair remaining. They must have been unable to survive in the Heaven Wasteland aristocratic family, or perhaps they were neglected in the Heaven Wasteland aristocratic family, which was why the Heaven Wasteland aristocratic family sent them here to die. The goatee middle-aged man laughed. No matter how you look at it, these guys don't look like they'll live long. They still dare to be so arrogant. You all, who do you think you are, 3 native bankers? If they were to fight, our Heaven Wasteland aristocratic family will not be afraid of you. A man said angrily. Yo, I'm so scared. Let your elders beat me up. Fan Shirshin laughed. Just as Fan Shirshin finished speaking, those young men and women all flew out and received a slap on their faces. This time, Xianxia still could not see who hit him. It's that bald fatty, Xia Bailing said. The villa masters of these 3 native bankers are all very strong. Xianxia looked at the bald fatty. He had heard from Xianxia that this bald fatty was the 3 villa master of the lifeless native bank, and the goatee should be the 3 lives native bank. Although they came from 3 native bankers, they were unexpectedly united. This also surprised Xianxia. In the end, under Fan Shirshin's intimidation, these dozen or so youngsters finally took out 17 billion jade money. Otherwise, they wouldn't have been able to leave the city. 3 manor lords? Is there really no problem in doing so? Xianxia was a little worried. No problem. We are the elders of this group, and our strength is much higher than theirs. How can we allow them to insult us like this? We must teach them a lesson. Not to mention these youngsters, even if those old fellows were arrogant here, we would still beat them up. The bald fatty laughed. This was strength. With strength, as long as he met such an arrogant fellow, he would be able to do whatever he wanted. All right, I will go and see what those fellows from Undead Divine Race are doing. The 2 of you stay here and guard against those youngsters. After Fan Shirshin finished speaking, he said to Xianxia, I'll help you settle the matter that you've requested of me as soon as possible. All right, thank you very much. Xianxia told Fan Shirshin to help him purchase the tianpa fruit. As long as he could get it, Xianxia believed that he would be able to reach the peak of the Daopa realm very soon. Xianxia used the transmission array here to teleport to the Heavenly Dragon City. There were already 3 native bankers in the Heavenly Dragon City, which made Xianxia feel a lot more at ease. Currently, the formations of the Heavenly Dragon City and the Hundreds of Flowers village were being changed as they could defend against those black hairs humaness. Heavenly Dragon City's defense is pretty good, Xia Bailing said. I need to return to my White Spirit City to prepare after a while. Those black hairs human are truly too terrifying. Who knows when they will be able to break through the barrier and escape. I can talk to Long Juxiao about it when the time comes. He is extremely familiar with these array formations. At this time, he was walking toward Long Juxiao's 9 Heavens Dragon Manor. Under Long Juxiao's management, the few god tribes and humans got along very harmoniously. Little scoundrel! Suddenly, Xianxia heard a sweet shout that sounded like a child's cry. You air! A white kitten flew over, chuckling as it landed on top of Xianxia's head. I missed you so much. Xianxia hurriedly grabbed Yuer and rubbed her. He hadn't seen Yuer, this little kitten, for a long time. Humph! You have so many women by your side. How could I be in your heart? Yuer pouted coquettishly and mewled a few times. Didn't you already turn into a little girl? Xianxia laughed as he placed her on his palm. I still think that this image is better. Yuer stuck out her tongue. Are you going to look for Long Juxiao? This guy is not in the Dragon Manor. He took his men to the city gates to fight. Fight! Xianxia frowned. Who is he fighting? Don't tell me that you are going against those enemies of his? Back then, Long Juxiao was in the hands of a group of dragons. However, he was poisoned at that time, so Long Juxiao's enemy was quite strong. No, it seems to be more than 10 red-faced monsters. Yuer replied. We'll know after we go and take a look. I just heard about it and decided to head there. Xianxia brought Yuer and walked toward the city gate. Yuer, are you usually at Dragon Manor? Xianxia asked. No, I run around. Sometimes I go to the Cat Forest, sometimes I go to the Star Moon Mountain. However, I often come to Hundreds of Flowers Village to tease those small dragons out of boredom. Yuer smiled and said, I, too, come often. In the Heavenly Dragon City, the Cat Forest was where the cat race lived. In the Star Moon Mountain, the Star Moon Divine Race was the Dragon Village, and the Undead Divine Race was in the Undying Shrine. You must have bullied those little dragons a lot, Xianxia said with a smile on his face. When he approached the city gate, he sensed a burst of aura and his expression changed as he rushed to the city wall. Brought Xianxia and the rest and was just about to confront the dozens of youths. Earlier, when Yuer said that it was some sort of red-faced monster, Xianxia really thought that it was some kind of demon beast. He didn't think that it was actually a human, it was just that half of the faces of the dozen or so people were flushed red, because they were the dozen or so youths who were slapped by the bald-headed plate back in 3 Money Divine City. Why are they here? Xianxia's expression became serious. What is it? You're the one who brought him here? Yuer asked. Who are they? They seem to be very powerful. They are from the Heaven Wasteland aristocratic family. Xianxia immediately told Yuer about the matter of the Heaven Wasteland aristocratic family, and also told her about the dozen or so youths getting beaten up. Ah, it seems like these guys are here to vent their anger after getting hit. Yuer said. They are all cultivators of the Dao sect. There is no need to worry. Xia Bailing suddenly came out from the Yuyao Mountain Villa, pinched Yuer a little, and then hugged Yuer to his chest while laughing. Yuer also rubbed Xia Bailing's well-developed chest with her 2 little claws, making Xianxia curse in his heart. Xia Bailing had stayed in the Hundreds of Flowers village for a few days, and Yuer had often played with her at that time. Hey, I heard you're a dragon. In the Sacred Wasteland, there aren't many dragons. We've always wanted to catch one, but we couldn't do so. Now that we've recovered, we actually found one here, and it seems rather weak. His originally black face had now become much better, only there was a red mark on it. Songhai, you guys go into the city, Long Zhouxiao said in a heavy voice. Although Zhou Songhai had leveled up quickly, he was still not a match for this group of youngsters. He, Gu Dongchen and the others all listened to Long Zhouxiao and returned back to Heavenly Dragon City. Why are you capturing dragons? Long Zhouxiao asked as he saw Zhou Songhai and the others return and close the door. To ride, of course. The purple-robed man laughed loudly. Go home and ride your father. Long Zhouxiao was furious. A shadow of a dragon claw suddenly appeared and grabbed at the purple-clothed man's head. Eh? The purple-clothed man suddenly cried out miserably, only to see that there were a few bloody holes on his face that had been clawed out by Long Zhouxiao. What was terrifying was that Long Zhouxiao actually managed to grab his face. The purple-clothed man's eyeballs and nose were all holes. His skin and bones were all ripped apart. Seeing this scene, Xia Bailing and Yuer also took a deep breath. Quickly kill him, the purple-clothed man cried out miserably. If you want to die, then don't. Long Zhouxiao roared. The dragon's roar shook the entire sky. The power behind it caused people to feel fear. This guy is actually a Dao sovereign, Xia Bailing exclaimed. Feeling Long Zhouxiao's anger and that terrifying might, the purple-clothed man and the others all knew that they had kicked an iron board again, causing them to feel extremely stifled in their hearts. Let's go. He knew that Long Zhouxiao would definitely dare to kill him. Bastards of the Heaven Wasteland aristocratic family. I, Long Zhouxiao, have never been afraid of you. Long Zhouxiao roared. The sky suddenly became dark, and black clouds started rolling. Seeing this, the youngsters ran as fast as they could. Xianxia also heaved a sigh of relief. He was previously worried that Long Zhouxiao might not be able to handle it. Not good. The direction they are heading towards is the Hundreds of Flowers village. Just as Xia Bailing finished speaking, she grabbed onto Yuer and teleported over with Xianxia. Hundreds of Flowers village is not far from Heavenly Dragon City. The group of youngsters were running very fast, so when Xia Bailing brought Xianxia there, the group of youngsters had already activated the invisible enchantment around Hundreds of Flowers village. There is a barrier here. Is the Hundreds of Flowers village inside? Those fellows from the undead divine race seemed to have said that there was a Hundreds of Flowers village here, and all of them were exceptionally beautiful. A blue-robed man laughed obscenely. Let's go in. The purple-clothed man took out some powder and smeared it on his face. His rotten face quickly recovered and he grinned sinisterly. Hey, are you really going in? A woman asked. 4 of these people were women. Of course, there are beauties inside. I want to bring them back to the maidservants. The purple-robed man began to laugh evilly. We need a few maids as well. When the time comes, we must viciously beat up this bitch. Otherwise, it will be hard to swallow her anger today, a woman said fiercely. Hearing that, Xianxia was immediately enraged. We must kill them. Xia Bailing had already teleported, his expression cold, and landed in front of the group of people. The sudden appearance of Xia Bailing made the eyes of the group of young men shine. It was rare to see a lady with an aura that was as beautiful as a fairy like Xia Bailing, especially when her face was frosty cold, making people feel that she had a cold and beautiful temperament, giving people a strong desire to conquer her. As for the 4 women, they were extremely jealous, especially when they saw the way the men were looking at Xia Bailing. Could it be that you heard our words and ran out on your own, wanting to be our maid? The violet-clothed man laughed sinisterly and walked over. Xia Bailing immediately used her extremely strong spatial energy and locked these 10 people in place. After hearing what they said just now, she felt that there was no need for these people to live anymore. She also did not expect those disciples of the Heaven Wasteland aristocratic family to be so arrogant. The group of youngsters felt their hearts turn cold as they felt themselves frozen and unable to move. They knew that they had kicked an iron plate. All of a sudden, they wanted to cry. All of the fellows they had encountered were Dao Sovereign-level experts. They were all people who could easily deal with them. Humph! Xianxia suddenly teleported over. The heavenly magic sword directly slashed towards the purple-clothed man's head, chopping it off. Ah! What are you doing? Although his head fell to the ground, it didn't die. Don't worry, I won't kill you. As Xianxia spoke, he ruthlessly stomped his foot on that face, and then threw his head into the Xianxia god furnace and sealed it. You guys, it's fine as long as you stay in your own family. Why do you have to act so arrogantly? Do you really think you are invincible? Xianxia walked over to a woman, who was just saying that she was going to grab the girl inside Hundreds of Flowers village and beat her up. Are you still a man? You want to make a move on a woman? The lady initially wanted to use the name of the Heaven Wasteland aristocratic family to scare Xianxia, but she did not expect Xianxia to already know. Since he dared to attack them, it was obvious that he was not afraid of them. At this time, they could not believe that their Heaven Wasteland aristocratic family's name was actually so useless, like a street rat. You're not even human. Xianxia nimbly swung his sword over, chopping off the girl's head, then throwing her into the Xianxia god furnace. They were all cultivators of Dao sect. As long as their heads were in divine sense C, they would not die, and the bodies that they painstakingly cultivated through were turned into ashes by Xianxia. Although Xianxia was furious just now, he did not lose his reason. He knew the consequences of killing these fellows, but if he let them continue to act arrogantly, sooner or later something big would happen, so he might as well make them disappear. This way, these people wouldn't be able to go back, nor would he know that Long Zhuxiao had attacked them. I never thought that Long Zhuxiao would actually have a grudge with the Heaven Wasteland aristocratic family, Yuer said. I find it strange too. Let's go and ask him, said. He had also heard from Long Zhuxiao's words that it was from the Heaven Wasteland aristocratic family. Xia Bailing and Yuer both entered the Yu Yao Mountain Villa, and Xianxia also entered the 9th Heaven Dragon Villa. Senior Long, those eternity. As Xianxia spoke till here, Long Zhuxiao interrupted him and then led him into a room. I think you were at the city wall just now. Where did you go after that? Long Zhuxiao asked. Xianxia was watching by the side just now, of course he knew, but when he turned back, Xianxia was nowhere to be seen. I went to chase after those guys. They went to the hundreds of flowers village afterwards. Xianxia said. That direction is indeed correct, but there is a spirit formation over there. They will definitely not be able to enter, Long Jiuxiao said. Although this group of fellows is strong, it's still not enough to destroy the hundreds of flowers village's barrier. No, they can even get into the three-money divine city. So it shouldn't be difficult for the hundreds of flowers village. Xianxia said. Looks like I was careless. What happened next? Long Jiuxiao sighed. I'll cut them down. Xianxia said. This group of people actually have designs on the hundreds of flowers village. Killed them all? Long Jiuxiao knew that Xia Bailing was right beside Xianxia. So dealing with those dozen over kids was definitely not a problem. No, chop off their heads and throw them into the Chuangshi God furnace. Even though they didn't die, they would definitely feel worse than dead. Xianxia laughed sinisterly. Well done. Long Jiuxiao patted Xianxia's shoulder and laughed. Senior Long, you and Heaven Wasteland aristocratic family seem to have a grudge, don't you? Xianxia asked. I've been to a lot of places. Although the ancient 8 desolations disappeared mysteriously afterwards, I can still go to the transmission array of the 3 great native banks. Back then, when I was working as a moneymaker in the Eternal Life Native Bank, I went to the Sacred Wasteland. Those Heaven Wasteland aristocratic family S are the ones who caught me. They sold me around as if I was a slave. Those were the days when I couldn't bear it any longer. Thinking about this, the muscles on Long Jiuxiao's face twitched. There is such a thing. Xianxia also didn't think that Long Jiuxiao actually had such an unbearable experience. Later on, I ran out myself. I went to the Eternal Life Native Bank, and with the help of the second Villa Master, they were finally willing to release the master-servant contract. The second Manor Lord had also warned me that I absolutely cannot seek them out for revenge before I possess absolute power. Long Jiuxiao clenched his fist tightly. Of course I know that they are very strong. That's why I have been enduring it this whole time. Of course, if I were to seek them in the future for revenge, I would definitely not let Heavenly Dragon City follow me. Xianxia did not expect the Heaven Wasteland aristocratic family to be so vile. This made him even more worried. These fellows have already hooked up with the undead divine race. The Heavenly Dragon City and the existence of the hundreds of flowers village was told to them by the undead divine race. Xianxia said, Humph, colluding with you. Just you wait. I'll take care of them sooner or later. Long Jiuxiao coldly snorted. This is truly a troublesome situation. It seems like we have to hurry up and increase our strength. Xianxia sighed. Senior Long, has Shuangru ever told you about the profound way? Yes, as I said, training in the profound Tao power can make it easier for me to deal with black hairs human. Long Jiuxiao nodded his head. We have already started to cultivate. It's all thanks to you. I have a feeling that the group of black hairs human will engulf the entire new 8 wastelands soon. Why do I have such a premonition? Xianxia asked anxiously. Because Heaven Wasteland aristocratic family, whether it is the ancient desolation or the new 8 wastelands, they have not been in chaos for a long time, and the existence of the Heaven Wasteland aristocratic family S is precisely to create chaos. Long Jiuxiao sighed. Back then, when I was captured by them as their slave pet, I understood us quite well. This is a group of people who only want to stir up trouble. It was impossible for the undead divine race and the evil spirit race to not know. But because the 3 great native bank S were inside, they did not dare to act rashly. They still had some reservations towards the strength of the 3 great native bank S. In order to deal with the 3 great native bank S, undead divine race and the evil spirit race had gone somewhere to contact the disciples of the desolate land and brought them here to cause trouble. It was obvious that this was to allow the Heaven Wasteland aristocratic family to deal with the 3 great native bank S. Right now, we only need to pay attention to undead divine race and evil spirit race. Heaven Wasteland aristocratic family's opponent is the 3 great native bank S. Long Jiuxiao replied, You don't have to worry too much. For now, we are still very safe. Xianxia nodded. He and Long Jiuxiao talked about a few more things, something relating to the situation in the profound wasteland, such as the things underneath the Earth's core. After the discussion, he and Xia Bailing headed towards the White Spirit City. Right now, Xia Bailing also needed to make sure that this place was protected, so she went to find Su Kong and Qin Yang and instructed them on a few things. As for pills, Xia Bailing did not need to worry. When she was inside the Hundreds of Flowers village before, she had already discussed this with Feng Yujie and the others. And right now, the Azure Void Yang and Long Juxiao had a lot of interactions and had already secretly formed an alliance. This kind of alliance wasn't too bad. When one party has difficulties supporting the other, the Azure Void Yang's strength was rather strong. Xianxia stayed in the Spirit Wasteland for a few days, and then headed towards the Three Money Divine City from there. He wanted to ask Fan Shixin if he had any news about the Tiempa fruit, which he desperately needed right now. Fan Shixin was not here, but Chun Xiang heard from the shopkeeper that he would be back in 3 days. Chun Xiang patiently waited for 3 days, and sure enough, Fan Shixin was back. It was so easy to get it. This is something that an old alchemist has been collecting for a long time. Fan Shixin handed over a jade box to Chun Xiang. Because it has been in my collection for a long time, that guy almost forgot, so I don't usually take care of him, so this Tiempa fruit is not so good. Chun Xiang opened the jade box and saw that the Tiempa fruit was already dried up, but he could still sense a trace of vitality. As long as it was not completely dried up and died, it was not a problem for Chun Xiang. I'm fine, Chun Xiang said, about to take out the jade money and give it to Fan Shixin, but Fan Shixin did not do so. This Tiempa fruit was also gifted to me by the old alchemist. You have to tell us what happened inside the profound wasteland, and we are very grateful to you. Fan Shixin smiled. He was the owner of the native bank, and he did not lack jade money. Thank you very much. Chun Xiang was extremely happy at the moment. As long as he could grow this Tiempa fruit in large quantities, he would be able to reach the 10th layer of Dao per realm very quickly. He brought the Tiempa fruit to the White Spirit City. Are you refining a Shipo Dan now? Xia Bailing asked. I still have some things to do here. Not yet. We still need to wait a while before it can grow. What business do you have here? Do you need my help? Chun Xiang asked. No need, right now I also need to choose some outstanding people to teach them the way to cultivate the heart of the profound way. In the future, if I meet any black hairs humaness, it would be easy to deal with them, Xia Bailing said. Hearing Xia Bailing's words, Chun Xiang immediately took out a lot of medicinal ingredients to refine the way of the profound. You can use it to refine your way of cultivation. The environment here is different from profound wasteland. There is no profound Tao power to absorb. We need a large amount of help in the way of the profound. Chun Xiang said, Alright, I'll ask Azure Sun Void to help me with the selection. I'll go and concoct pills first, Xia Bailing said. I will go to profound wasteland to take a walk and see if I can find better herbs there. Chun Xiang said. He felt that there were definitely many other good herbs in profound wasteland. Then you must be careful. Without me by your side, encountering black hairs human will be very dangerous, Xia Bailing said. Don't worry about that. Chun Xiang laughed. Chun Xiang left the White Spirit City and headed towards the profound wasteland. Now that he had cultivated the heart of the profound way and had heavenly magic sword by his side, he felt that even if he met black hairs human, if he couldn't beat them, he could at least hold on for a while and escape. Moreover, he still had 6 realms mirrors S, but he had to wait until night before he used the white tiger to jump in. Night time, Chun Xiang entered the profound wasteland and immediately teleported to the city, very quickly entering it. Where's Brother Tai? Chun Xiang asked the shopkeeper here. In the past, Tai Xiong was always in this little villa. He went out with Iron Fighting Team because Iron Fighting Team made some important discoveries. The shopkeeper said softly, I heard that there's some good stuff. Not only did the Iron Fighting Team come back to look for the boss Tai, the other teams also came back one after another and sent their experts to follow them. I wonder what kind of good stuff it is. Do you know where it is? Chun Xiang was very curious about this. How could I know? This is a very secret thing. The shopkeeper shook his head. Chun Xiang also wanted to see what exactly that thing could actually cause Tai Xiong to personally make a move. This was because Tai Xiong had once said that he was very afraid of death and normally would not run out on his own. When did Brother Tai set off? Xianxia asked again. Yesterday. With that, Xianxia disappeared. When Xianxia arrived at the city lord's mansion, he was very busy right now and was refining the array disk. When Xianxia entered the city lord's mansion, he also felt that the Tao aura there had become denser than before. In order to make the Tao energy even denser in the entire city, Tai Yuntian was currently putting in great effort to refine array disks. Those array disks were all transmission arrays, which were able to transmit dense Tao energy from the center of the earth. Although he was busy, when he found out that Xianxia was here, Tai Yuntian immediately ran out of the secret room to meet him. City Lord Tai, do you know where Tai Xiong and the others went? Xianxia asked. After Iron Fighting Team came back, he told him that there were good things, and then he followed Iron Fighting Team and set off. I know not only the Iron Fighting Team, but the other teams have also found some treasures at the island cluster in the middle of the Skyspan Lake. I don't know what exactly it is, but it's said that there are good things hidden inside. Tai Yuntian frowned. You should not go. That place is more dangerous. Crossing Heaven Lake? There are also islands in the middle of this lake, so wouldn't this lake be very big? Xianxia asked anxiously. Of course, otherwise it would not be called the Sky Crossing Lake. It would be more or less fine to call it an inner sea. Tai Yuntian said. There might be black hairs human down there. Do they not want to live? Xianxia was very worried about this. If he were to wake up the black hairs human at the bottom of this super lake, the consequences would be unimaginable. They said that they have investigated and that there are no black hairs humanes at the bottom of the lake. Moreover, they said that nothing will happen if we are careful. Tai Yuntian laughed. Speaking of which, extracting Daoqi from the core of the earth is really too good. The Daoqi in this city will quickly become denser, and all of this is thanks to you. This is a small matter. Iron City Lord, where is Crossing Heaven Lake? I want to take a look, Xianxia asked. After getting a seat from Tai Yuntian, Xianxia immediately headed over. It was also dark now, so it would be safer on the road. Black hairs human only appeared during the day. It was hard to say whether or not he would appear during the night in the future. For safety's sake, Xianxia rode on the Six Realms mirrors and flew on the profound wastelands land towards the Sky Lake. After a night of travel, he finally saw the Heavens Crossing Lake. It looked endless, and was indeed a very large lake. Xianxia flew in the air and looked downwards while using the Tao Heart Eye. There were actually many densely packed golden specks of light below. These golden specks of light were extremely secret scrolls, so it looked like a field of golden fluorescent light. It was very obvious that this was the Black Hairs Humans Gene Exion. And Tai Yuntian had told Xianxia before that someone had already investigated this place, and confirmed that there were no black hairs humanes below. But now Xianxia could see so much. Xianxia rode on his Six Realms mirrors and flew straight there. He looked down below with his Tao Heart Eye and saw dots of golden light, which meant that the entire bottom of the lake was black hairs human. I hope these fellows do not wake up during this period of time. Otherwise, it will be troublesome. Xianxia was very worried. There were countless black hairs human below, and now that it was daytime, he was very worried that these black hairs human would suddenly appear. However, along the way, he did not encounter any black hairs human, which made him feel a lot more at ease. An hour later, he saw the island. It was a group of islands of various sizes. It was extremely vast, and a few of the islands were very large. It looked like a land with mountain forests and beasts. Xianxia landed on one of the islands, took out his communication jade symbol paper, and sent a message to Tai Xiong. Brother Iron, where are you? Not long after Xianxia sent the message, the other party responded. Are you nearby? You went to the Sky Island by yourself? Tai Xiong's voice was extremely surprised. Yes, you are on that island. Xianxia asked anxiously. Seven Horn Island. Tai Xiong said. The biggest. All right, I'll go over now. I'll contact you when I get there. Xianxia immediately rode on his Six Realms mirrors and rushed over, landing on the top of the Seven Horn Island. This island was the largest, and it also had a very dense amount of Dao Qi. This is. Xianxia saw many footprints that were almost the same size on the beach. Only under one circumstance would there be so many identical footprints, and that was the Black Hare's human. Black Hare's human's body was about the same size, and when Xianxia looked at the beach that was close to the shore, he realized that all these footprints were on the same place. Seeing this, although it was noon, Xianxia shivered. The Black Hare's human below had come ashore. Brother Tai, you guys have to be careful. A large number of Black Hare's human have already entered the island. Xianxia took out his communication jade symbol paper and sent a message to Tai Xiong. Is this for real? Tai Xiong asked in shock. It's true. You all must be careful and quickly escape. There are a lot of Black Hare's human, Xianxia said. Their footprints are all over the beach. Damn it. They are here, Brother Shin. You should run first. Tai Xiong screamed in shock. After that, Xianxia did not receive any more responses from Tai Xiong. Seems like Tai Xiong is in trouble. Xianxia clenched his teeth, then controlled his 6 realms mirrors and flew into the mountain forest inside the island. The forest was filled with giant trees. When Xianxia entered, he saw that many of the trees had been snapped by the powerful force, and some had even exploded into pieces. The ground was filled with all kinds of leaves, which was clearly done by the Black Hare's human. I wonder what's going on with these Black Hare's humaness. If there is a leader among them, it will be even more troublesome. The only thing he wanted to do now was to quickly find Tai Xiong and bring them away. After Xianxia flew for a while and saw the blood on the ground, he knew that there had been a fight before. He had previously heard that there were many teams coming in. These teams all had a rather strong person with them, but if they met the Black Hare's human's army, it would not be easy for them to escape. Xianxia was even more nervous now. He did not want Tai Xiong to die here. Tai Xiong was his good friend, and it was possible that Tai Xiong came here to help him look for the medicinal ingredients. Boss, leave quickly. Xianxia suddenly heard a big-sized man's voice. He immediately knew that it was the leader of the iron fighting team. He remembered this voice. It's right in front. Xianxia took out his heavenly magic sword and it quickly flew over. But when he arrived at the front, Xianxia's heart couldn't help but quiver, and he instantly became alarmed. The dense mass of people in front were all Black Hare's humaness. This group of Black Hare's humaness had surrounded Tai Xiong and the others, and had only left an open space in the middle to fight with Tai Xiong and the others. Previously, when the Black Hare's humans saw the human race, they had charged directly to kill them. How could they be as civilized as they were now? This could only mean that the group of Black Hare's human all had intelligence, or were commanded by the powerful Black Hare's human who had intelligence. There's over 100,000 people here. Although there were a lot of Black Hare's humaness, Xianxia still rushed over. This group of Black Hare's human were all very strong. They could all sense Xianxia riding on the 6 realms mirrors flying over, with more than 100 of them jumping up, preparing to stop Xianxia. However, they were all dodged by Xianxia using his spatial energy. When these Black Hare's humans saw that Xianxia knew how to use spatial energy, he stopped his jump as well. However, Xianxia did not relax because he could feel that a few Black Hare's human who knew how to use spatial energy were closing in on him. One of the Black Hare's humaness suddenly appeared in front of him and stomped down fiercely, but 6 realms mirrors was not weak either. Not only did it block the force, it even bounced back the force and shattered that Black Hare's human's thigh. Xianxia also quickly pulled out his sword and directly slashed onto Black Hare's human's legs. With the profound Tao power and the sharpness of the heavenly magic sword, Black Hare's human was like tofu slabs as he was sliced into half from the middle of his legs. After getting rid of Black Hare's human, Xianxia immediately teleported back to where Tai Xiong and the others were. They were surrounded by a group of Black Hare's human. Xianxia enlarged the 6 realms mirrors and then enveloped them, allowing them to enter the center. Brother Shin, what are you doing here? This is too dangerous. Tai Xiong had also seen Xianxia make his move just now. He never thought that Xianxia would actually be able to easily kill a Black Hare's human. Nonsense. I was just here to save you, Xianxia said. He then activated his 6 realms mirrors and teleported away, disappearing from the forest. However, just as he teleported to a certain location, He saw thousands of black hairs human chasing him from behind.